Hey, can I eat this?
Lisa asked me as she was sorting through a package that had been sent from my folks' place. When I turned around, Lisa was holding a cup of instant noodles. Could it be? You've never eaten this before? I asked, almost in disbelief. Lisa nodded deeply in response. Is there really someone like that? You're like a national treasure, I said, with a touch of sarcasm.
What's that supposed to mean? Lisa puffed her cheeks, looking a bit angry.
Go ahead, I said, feeling slightly guilty for teasing her too much. Lisa seemed somewhat pleased as she put the kettle on the stove. She looked like a child attempting to make instant noodles for the first time, and she was reading the instructions intently. You just pour hot water and wait for 3 minutes, but I wanted to say, but kept silent, watching her instead.
What? This is delicious. I honestly thought to myself that this is how someone would react if they were trying instant noodles for the first time after becoming a college student.
And once again, I felt how different the worlds Lisa and I lived in were. Lisa and I met right after I started college. At the orientation for new students, there was one woman who stood out. Not her behavior or what she said, but her clothing was clearly different from everyone else's. Even I, who had no interest in brands, thought she was wearing expensive clothes. Did she realize she was standing out from those around her? She looked a bit reserved among a small group of acquaintances. When the students were prompted to sit down by the facilitator, I was taken aback. That woman was sitting next to me. Coming from a provincial high school, being the only one from there to go to this college, I had no one to talk to. So, the conversation from that woman's group naturally reached my ears.
Lisa, why are you dressed like that? It's not like it's a graduation ceremony or anything.
I learned the woman sitting next to me was named Lisa.
But you know, since it's such an important event, my mom said, wear this. That's still no reason to wear a suit. And it's Calvin Klein too. Casual wear would have been fine.
I thought the other woman's remark was quite reasonable as I listened. My connection with Lisa started in an unexpected way. Having been in the tennis club in both middle and high school, I had decided to continue playing tennis in college, and Lisa was among the new tennis club members. At that time, I only thought, that woman is here. However, at a welcoming event for the freshmen, something happened that brought Lisa and me much closer. The event was in full swing, and it was time for the freshmen to introduce themselves. The facilitator was calling names in the order of the list, and those who were called stood up to introduce themselves.
After a while, I noticed Lisa, who was sitting next to me, starting to fidget.
Looking at the list we'd received earlier, I realized it was because her turn was coming up.
My name is Lisa Hamilton. Pleased to meet you.
Lisa got that far, but then she stalled, and her voice was too soft to boot. I can't hear you, one of the upperclassmen yelled. Lisa's body gave a little start, and I could tell that she was struggling to find the words. The room went quiet, and all eyes turned to her. She looked distressed. I'm John Brown, from Kansas. Just a country bumpkin who doesn't know his left from his right. Nice to meet you. Although my name hadn't been called, I suddenly blurted out my introduction in a loud voice. No one cares about a guy's introduction, a male upperclassman heckled. Ignoring the jeer, I was about to continue my introduction when the facilitator called the next freshman's name to regain control of the situation.
Thank you. As I sat down, Lisa, who was next to me, whispered,
You're welcome. That was my reply, but that little exchange was the catalyst for Lisa and me to quickly grow close and eventually start dating. I didn't initiate it. It was Lisa. After the gathering had ended and we were cleaning up, Lisa approached me.
I wanted to thank you for the other day.
She seemed to want to thank me for helping her out at the welcome event for new students. I had no reason to refuse, so I took Lisa up on her offer. I was taken aback by where she took me. It was a French restaurant, and apparently it had been featured in the Michelin Guide. I had never had such fine dining in my life before. Such grand gratitude for such a small favor. Who exactly was this person? That's what I was thinking. But even I, nervous in my first upscale restaurant, was put at ease by Lisa's gentle manner, sparkling eyes, fair complexion, and her genuine, slightly quirky smile.
As the meal progressed, my heart was captivated.
After that, We dined together many times. Lisa would take me to high-end places. I would take her to more down-to-earth spots like ramen joints or fast food, what you might call the class gourmet. It was a bit funny considering the difference in levels, but at the time, it felt like an exciting adventure, traveling through each other's unknown worlds, laughing a lot, and having a wonderful time. Then Lisa started coming to my place every day, and we began to live a sort of semi-cohabiting life. My mom was a diehard saver, and watching her, I naturally picked up a frugal lifestyle. But living with Lisa, I felt the differences in our households keenly. Once,
What are you doing?
what do you mean? I'm cleaning. Feels good to do it little by little every day, doesn't it?
We could just hire a maid.
Another time.
Hey, what are you doing?
You can see, can't you? I'm cooking. You must be hungry, right?
Cooking yourself. Wow, you're like a chef.
No, it's just normal. The surprises didn't end there. My birthday or Christmas gifts, anniversary meals, and so on were all way beyond what I could imagine. The money she spent was something I could never repay, no matter how much I worked at my part-time job. You don't have to spend so much, I said once.
It's what I want to do. You don't have to worry about it, John.
Lisa always answered casually.
Why don't you come over this Sunday? My dad wants to meet you.
One day in our junior year of college, Lisa suddenly said that to me. I was taken aback. Meeting her father? What does that mean? I knew that Lisa was the daughter of a local construction company president, and that she had a brother 2 years older, but I had never met her parents.
Since I was starting to think about my future with Lisa, I thought it was a good opportunity to let her parents know about me, so I decided to visit Lisa's family home.
The day I visited Lisa's home for the first time, I was taken aback when I saw the building. It was a far more magnificent mansion than I had anticipated. What are you planning to do from now on? That day, Lisa's stern-faced father asked me, who had been nervous since morning. I want to continue our relationship seriously from now on. My voice was trembling as I answered. No, that's not what I want to know. I want to know what you think about your future with Lisa. Perhaps he's not good at beating around the bush. Lisa's father asked directly. I plan to get a solid job and get used to the work, and then, if possible, I'd like to marry Lisa in the future. Lisa made a surprised face, then blushed a little and smiled at me. I see. Understood. That's all Lisa's father said before falling silent.
It seems like you passed Dad's test.
Lisa murmured on the way back from her family home. When I failed to grasp the meaning, Lisa explained.
Dad brought out the brandy, didn't he? That's his favorite, something he only drinks on truly special occasions. Drinking it with you means he has accepted you.
With Lisa's words, I sobered up completely. After graduating from college, I got a job at the Public Employment Office. I wanted to do something for people and sought advice from my seniors and career counselors to determine my direction. Then, in the 3rd year of my career, I married Lisa. Looking back, overlooking the differences in our lifestyle with Lisa might have been the root of the problem. It wasn't just Lisa who felt the difference. I also felt it in the wedding gift from my father-in-law. The gift was a condominium. It was a property handled by my father-in-law's company, and the top floor of a 20-story building had been prepared for us.
I thought it was something we couldn't handle and declined many times.
However, my father-in-law said to me, all you need to do is become someone worthy of living in this condominium. I was at a loss for words. Keeping the property in my father-in-law's name was the most significant resistance I could offer. Lisa quit her career and became a full-time housewife. Her job had been working as an office worker for her father's company after graduating from college, so I wondered if she was really working. Though she became a full-time housewife, Lisa's life hadn't changed much since before our marriage. It had become a daily routine to call Lisa when I was about to leave work. It was to urge her to come home. Even so, she usually came home around the same time I did, and it was not uncommon for Lisa to come home late. Every day, she brought home a lot of prepared dishes. It wasn't something she bought on the way, but something she brought from her parents' house. I don't think we need this every day, do we? I once said. Then, Lisa calmly replied,
I'm just accepting what's given to me, so there's no problem. I'm not causing any inconvenience. After such exchanges happened a few times, I stopped talking to Lisa about meals.
She showed no signs of doing housework. Worried, I asked Lisa.
If needed, a housekeeper can come and help.
Lisa answered nonchalantly. When we were dating, it was my house, so Lisa never invited anyone without asking. After marriage, I assumed Lisa would naturally do the housework. However, surprised by our differences in values, I gradually began to feel distant from Lisa. One day, I asked Lisa how much our monthly living expenses were. Hearing the amount from Lisa, I was shocked. It was significantly more than my salary. I want us to live within my salary, I pleaded. Then, Lisa said,
Why? If we're short, we can just get it from my father or mother. There's no need to worry, is there?
I felt anger at those words.
It's about living within our means. When are you going to graduate from depending on your parents? Think about my position too.
Lisa seemed unable to understand my feelings.
Why? It's my family, so it's okay to depend on them. Dad and mom would be pleased. What's wrong with that?
It's a matter of degree. So put it bluntly, in your case, it's way over the top. After that, neither of us budged in our positions. Once, during a heated argument, Lisa screamed,
I don't want to live this frugal life. If you don't like what I'm doing, let's just get a divorce. All right, I understand.
That was 1 year after our marriage. The next day, I went to the city hall to pick up the divorce papers, filled in the necessary information, and handed it to Lisa. Then I left the house. I even felt relieved that the condo was in Lisa's father's name. For the first time in a while, I was alone. And although I felt a bit lonely, I lived freely.
My frugal living habits from my college days came back to life. The divorce was finalized a few days later.
And then, about 10 years later, something happened. I was working as usual when I thought I heard Lisa's voice from a distance away from my desk. I looked around in the direction of the voice, but the partition blocked my view, so I couldn't confirm.
I need money right away, so a day job will be good.
The voice said. It really sounded like Lisa's voice. I excused myself to my client, pretending to have some work to do, and got up from my seat. Then I stopped in front of the seat where the voice had come from and looked at the face of the client sitting there. I gasped. It was indeed Lisa. She really came. But I couldn't switch clients, so I returned to my seat. After finishing guiding the client, I hastily got up and looked over where Lisa had been sitting earlier, but I couldn't see her anywhere. I went outside. Lisa. I inadvertently called out to her.
Lisa, recognizing her name, jolted and looked back hesitantly. John, you still work here.
Lisa looked somewhat embarrassed. I couldn't tell if it was her shabby clothes or the fact that the place we hadn't met in a long time was the unemployment office. It's been a while. Are you doing okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
We spoke only that much and then fell into silence. Are you free this evening? Want to talk a bit after work? I asked. Lisa looked surprised but nodded. I didn't have anything specific I wanted to say to Lisa. To be honest, I didn't know what to talk about with my ex-wife after an unexpected reunion. But seeing Lisa like that, I couldn't just ignore her. When my work was over, Lisa was waiting for me at the entrance of my workplace. We then headed to a nearby cafe. It's been 10 years, hasn't it? Lisa nodded to my cliche question. Why are you looking for a job? I didn't ask that. There was no need to ask.
I had an idea why Lisa had come to the unemployment office.
Then Lisa spoke.
Dad's company went bankrupt.
I knew about that. Among the clients I had dealt with, there were former employees of Lisa's father's company.
I'm sorry. I used to make fun of living a poor life. I didn't understand what living within one's means, like you used to say, meant until I reached this age. My dad's company went bankrupt, and I lost everything, feeling painfully that I'm a person who can't do anything.
Lisa said, choosing her words carefully. Lisa and I had lived in a condominium under her father's name, which she had sold. Now, she's living with her family of 3 in a 1-bedroom apartment. Her father has become depressed, and her mother is taking care of him. Lisa's brother seems to have gotten fed up with the family and has left home, whereabouts unknown. And Lisa, having no prior work experience, is unable to get hired as a regular employee and is scraping by with day labor.
Thinking about it now, It's unbelievable. Paying thousands of dollars for a meal. How many days do I have to work to afford that?
I even thought that Lisa's tone and attitude were of a different person than the Lisa I had known for the past 10 years.
You know, I've been trying various money-saving techniques I heard from you when we were dating. Cooking is surprisingly fun, too. Even a little bit of saving makes a big difference. I'm sorry for making fun of it back then.
Lisa said, folding her hands in front of her mouth and smiling mischievously. After that, we talked a lot about money-saving techniques. While our completely opposite personalities when we were dating were exciting and fun, spending time with her, now sharing similar values and thoughts, gave me a sense of comfort and happiness entirely different from that time. And when we were leaving the cafe, Lisa said,
I'll pay.
And pulled out a few tens of dollars. No, I invited you.
But you listened to my story. It's on me.
We probably annoyed the cashier, but we had a typical spat at the cash register. How about we split the bill?
Ha!
I laughed at Lisa's response. The old Lisa would never have bent her farts at a time like this and would have left the store by laying down a $100 bill. That such a word as split the bill would come from Lisa. I was utterly surprised, and on the way to the bus stop, I saw something and told Lisa, just wait here a moment, and had her wait for me in a nearby park. And then a few minutes later, here, this. I handed Lisa an envelope.
But what's this?
$5,000. It should last you a few months. Day laboring will only get you through the day, and that's not good enough. Living expenses until you find a decent job. You don't have to pay me back.
No way. That's a lot of money.
I laughed again at Lisa's words. Don't mention it. Remember how Sally used to give you so many gifts? Think of it as payback for that, and please accept it. With that, Lisa started crying uncontrollably.
I'll definitely work to pay you back. John, thank you.
After that, we began to meet occasionally. Sometimes I gave her job advice or recommended companies known for hiring inexperienced workers but had good reputations. Eventually, Lisa landed a job as a factory worker at a place I recommended. When I checked with the boss about how Lisa was doing, he said,
"Boy, we're really glad to have her on board. She's a bit quirky, but she's eager to learn the job. Even the longtime ladies here think she's adorable. Since Lisa came, everyone's been in higher spirits."
I was very pleased to hear that. And then, a year later, Lisa handed something to me. It was an envelope containing $6,000. What's this?
The money I borrowed, plus a little extra for thanks. You lent me so much, I didn't even use half of it, but it helped me so much. Thank you, really, truly, thank you.
With that, Lisa bowed deeply.
Money can change people, huh?
I mumbled, genuinely feeling it. Lisa looked surprised. I was remembering the old Lisa. Back then, she never lacked money, so she never felt its importance. Now, Lisa knew the value of hard-earned money, but she had always been kind-hearted. Seeing that, I thought to myself, maybe I could start over with this Lisa. It's certainly uncertain, having been divorced once, if we could truly start over. But there's no need for an immediate answer. We'll spend more time together, and this time, without looking away. I think we'll take it slow and think it through.